In 1954, when Stephen Hampson was born, his parents weren't sure what the future would hold. I'm sure, like any Christian parents, they prayed, thanking God for a healthy son and that they would raise him as God would have them to. Pastor Steve has told many stories from the pulpit to make us know that he grew up as a typical kid, causing his mom and dad a few gray hairs along the way. In 1965, Pastor Steve was saved at the Dahlgren Baptist Church in Dahlgren, Illinois. In 1970, he accepted the call to preach at the age of 16 at the Dahlgren Baptist Church. This would have been a tough decision to make as a teenager, but Pastor Steve was obedient to the call. In 1972 to 1974, in 1972, at a very young age, Steve began his journey by being called to pastor Hickory Hill Baptist Church. In June of 1971, during a youth revival held at the Woodlawn Baptist Church, his future brother-in-law, Gary Wengler, asked him to take his sister, Jeannie Wengler, home for him. Even though Jeannie didn't want to go, well, the rest is history, and they were married at the Bellride Missionary Baptist Church in 1973. 1973 was a big year for Pastor Steve, as Hickory Hill Baptist Church ordained him as a minister. The council was called and was led by Dr. Kenneth Hall. 1974 to 1978. In 1974, Steve left Hickory Hill and was called to pastor New Salem Baptist Church. While at New Salem in 1975, their oldest son, Jeremy, was born. In 1977, Joshua was born. This church had exciting memories. 1978 to 1981. In 1978, Pastor Steve left the New Salem Baptist Church in the Fairfield Association and was called to Southside Baptist Church in the Salem South Baptist Association. 1981 to 1990. In 1981, the Hampsons were called to the Panther Fork Baptist Church. In 1988, their third son, Jacob, was born, and in 1990, Jordan was born. While serving at Panther Fork, Jeremy was saved. Also, Joshua was saved at home. (1991 to 2002). In 1991, Pastor Steve went to serve at Summersville Baptist Church. While serving at Summersville, Jacob was saved, and Jordan was saved at home. In 1994, Jeremy surrendered the call to preach at 19 years of age. Today, Joshua is an ordained deacon at Summersville. Summersville, when the pastors leave, their pictures are hung in the basement. So on this last Sunday, Pastor Steve was hung on the wall. In 2002 to 2013. In 2002, Pastor Steve took a new and challenging role as he became Director of Missions of the Goshen Trail Baptist Association. Being Director of Missions created a whole new world for him. During this time, he visited many churches, and they started the Cowboy Ministry and the New Frontier Cowboy Church. 2014 to 2017. In 2014, he accepted a call from the Pleasant Grove Baptist Church. 2018 to present. To round out his 50 years in ministry, Pastor Steve now serves in the Greater Wabash Association. He is currently pastoring the Olive Branch Baptist Church. The Olive Branch Baptist Church has joined with the Wayne City Saddle Club and allows him to continue with his cowboy ministry.
came to pass as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the fowls of the air came and devoured it up. And some fell on stony ground, where it had not much earth. And immediately it sprang up, because it had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no roots, it withered away. And he said unto him, He that had ears, let him hear. We love you, Grandpa.